We'll try it again. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Well, that's a little better. All right. Well, welcome to SkillsUSA, I guess the kickoff meeting for this year. So appreciate everyone being here. SkillsUSA is a great program, so you guys should be excited that you're part of it. I want to thank Ian Schmee, our faculty member, who's leading this up, and all the faculty who've been involved or are going to be involved in preparing for the competitions. We always do pretty well in the competitions. We always have some students who get to go to state and beyond. So we're excited about that. And I think the other thing about SkillsUSA that you might not appreciate, but you should, is that it is an opportunity to build your leadership and teamwork skills and that sort of thing. And I say that because research has shown that the people who advance and have successful careers are those who have those types of skills. Those leadership skills, interpersonal skills, communication skills, teamwork skills, all right? And it doesn't matter what job you're in, all right? It doesn't matter if you're a nurse on the floor, if you're a welder working with, at a company, if you're a nuclear physicist in some research lab, because once you get to the research lab with all the other nuclear physicists, everyone's about as smart as you are, all right? So wherever you go, everyone's about as good as you are, right? So what differentiates you from those other people? It's leadership. It's willing to work as a team, get along with people, communicate, respect other people, understand their perspective, and work together. Years ago, when I was at another community college in northern Kentucky, I went to Toyota Motor Manufacturing, which has a huge manufacturing facility in Georgetown, Kentucky. And I remember it to this day because it was interesting. I went through, and of course, I was at community college, so I had technical students. I was trying to understand what Toyota needed to employ our students. And they showed us all the robotics, and everything was very, those automated guided vehicles that would just go down the aisles and no one was around them and stuff. I mean, it was very sort of high-tech. Even for decades ago, it's still high-tech. And while we were talking about all the skills that people needed, the engineer said, who, as we were watching these robots work, said an interesting thing. He said, "We have never fired anyone," or at least he has never fired everyone or had to let someone go because they lack technical skills, all right? The hiring process at most companies will bring in the person who has the technical skills needed, all right? But he did have to let people go because they could not get along with the other people. They didn't have the interpersonal skills. They couldn't work as a team. They couldn't communicate. And that's the kind of thing that you'll get to learn and enhance at SkillsUSA. So that's why it's such a great program. And once again, you might not appreciate it now, but you will in the future, because it's going to give you those skills that are going to allow you to be effective in the workplace and to advance in the workplace. So I just congratulate you for joining SkillsUSA and being part of it, because it is a great program. I look forward to hearing about all the great things that you do with the competitions, but beyond that, just what you're going to learn and develop with your leadership skills and your teamwork skills.
The meeting will come to order. The thought for the day will be given by the Madam Vice President.
If your actions inspire others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more, you are a leader. Chris Ledoux.
Well, everybody talks about high unemployment. High unemployment's obviously a big problem, but it seems to me that the real problem is the skills gap, because the skills gap shows us that there are opportunities available, millions of them, in fact, and the problem seems to be that those opportunities don't get celebrated the same way the opportunities that come with a four-year degree get celebrated. This has been going on for decades, I think. There's a lot of bad advice out there, and kids hear the same steady message over and over and over and over and over and over again. Right? A four-year degree is your best path to happiness, but maybe that's not true. In fact, it seems like the jobs that are available today, the really good jobs that can pay upwards of six figures, most of those require some kind of vocational background, right? And while that's a fact, we discourage a vocational background at the same time. So we're kind of disconnected from all of that, in my opinion, and it seems to me if we want to close the skills gap, we have to start valuing something in a different way. We have to start celebrating hard work and smart work at the same time. And we have to start looking at that space between blue collar and white collar as the gap into which all these jobs have fallen. We need to close that gap, and we need to start celebrating the opportunities that are available right now, today, in my humble opinion. SkillsUSA has so much value and so much to offer. I could probably talk for an hour about it, but if I only had a minute, which apparently I do, I would just say this. The federal money is all dried up, vocational classes have evaporated from high schools, and somebody has to pick up the slack. Somebody has to come in and celebrate the opportunities that are available and encourage kids to do a very specific kind of job, to explore a very specific kind of career. Nobody else is doing that today. SkillsUSA is on the front line. They're encouraging soft skills, they're encouraging specific skills, they're encouraging skill in general in the same way that education in general is always encouraged. SkillsUSA is adding balance into a system right now and a message that's really been unbalanced for a long time. So that's the role of skills. They're the connective tissue in between the opportunities that exist and the hopes that a lot of parents and kids have for their own future. They're making a real difference every single day, day in and day out. They're actually moving the needle in a way that nobody else is, which is pretty cool. SkillsUSA champions at work. Clever, huh? Because it means a couple different things. Champions that are working, and then it also means that they're champions of work, and yet it also means that when it comes to work, they are the champions. So there's really a lot going on in a very simple motto. Let's review. SkillsUSA, champions at work.
So like he said, the skills gap is the difference in the skills required on the job and the actual skills possessed by employees. This is a quote from a computer programming competitor that went to competition. SkillsUSA was a lively environment full of upbeat people and competition. Competing let me see where my skills were at, but also gave me the chance to apply what I've learned. All in a positive experience. I hope to return again. And this is a quote from Mr. Ian. He's an information technology advisor. SkillsUSA develops students into professionals. I have seen students thrive when given the chance to test their skills against their peers. It also tests us as instructors to let us know we are doing our jobs. How can you help with skills? We're having a fundraiser right now selling chocolate, the world's finest chocolate. We need to sell 55 boxes. And if we sell 55 boxes, our profit will be $1,650. 48 boxes have been picked up by students to sell already. And by selling this chocolate, if you are the high seller, you receive a $25 gift card. Why do we need to raise funds? It's $150 just for one student to attend state competition. So those funds will go to pay for each student to go to competition and compete. And examples of those competitions: barbering, computer programming, crime scene investigation, electrical construction wiring, hair coloring, medical terminology, nail care, web design, and welding. There's actually over 100 in total that you can compete in. Thank you for your attention.
Now we're going to hear from our National Vice President, Preston Prince.
Good morning. I have a question for everyone. How many of you are here because you have to be? And let's be honest, it's okay. Okay, I feel you. How many of you are here and you don't really know what SkillsUSA is? Okay, got a few. Thank you for your honesty. In the fall of 2014, I was a freshman at CCCA, and I had no interest at all with being in SkillsUSA. You could not change my mind. It was a done deal, no SkillsUSA. It wasn't for me, or so I thought. My advisor continually asked me, Preston, join SkillsUSA. It's something for you. You'll do great at it. And I continually said no. I didn't want to. But she was very rigorous. She just kept on bugging me. And you know, I caved. I said, okay, I'll join SkillsUSA. But I'm only going to compete. That's it. And when I practiced and practiced and practiced for commercial baking, and I made it to state conference, and even though I got second place, got beat by my best friend, I found something so much more, something I couldn't have ever imagined. Seeing all the over 130 different competitions, I mean, that's a lot, to seeing the state officers on stage and how they interacted with everyone. That was amazing. I was a shy freshman, and seeing them talk to over 2,000 people, that was astonishing to me. And then hearing student testimony of how SkillsUSA had changed their lives, I knew then that SkillsUSA was an organization that I wanted to be a part of. I wanted to do more. So I came back to school and became local parliamentarian. I was gung-ho. That later turned into local president, a state officer, and now a national officer. I was a student who wanted nothing to do with SkillsUSA. Now, my career goal is to work for SkillsUSA. I've gained so much through SkillsUSA, opening up so many doors for me and helping me grow in my personal skills that will help me in the workplace. But what I've gained is only in part from what I have given. So I encourage each and every one of you to become involved in SkillsUSA. Be more than just a member. Get involved in the fundraising, in the community service, in the professional development, in the social activities. It will truly change your life. I was reading a book, I know, surprisingly, I was reading, but it was about being a thermostat versus a thermometer. And for so long, I was a thermometer, reflecting the temperature of the room, conforming to my surroundings, and going with the flow. But through my journey in SkillsUSA, I've been able to lead and grow and set the temperature, becoming a thermostat. And I truly believe that everyone in this room can become a thermostat. Through SkillsUSA, it is possible. Thank you.
All right, can I have everybody's attention just one last time? In lieu of a closing ceremony, I'm just going to give you a few announcements. The state competition, if anybody's interested in the state competition, that is April 10th. It'll be a Wednesday. We would leave on Tuesday, April 9th. Certain competitions require regional competitions to place into the state. The only ones I know of are welding and HVAC that we compete in. If you're interested in that, please get in touch with your instructor or advisor, and we'll go from there. The regional competition for welding is March 1st, and the regional competition for HVAC is March 15th. So, and as far as everything else goes, you are free to go. Thank you for being here.